Hey, what's up, Roxstars? It's Rox coming to you today with a review for Love and Marriage Huntsville Season 6, Episode 2. So let's get to it, shall we? All right, you guys. So the show started where it ended last week, which was with the conversation between Stormi and Mel and how Mel ghosted Stormi like she does everybody else when the show ends. It got on my nerves quickly, mostly because Mel was trying to put it on Stormi, like, it didn't ever occur to you that my number being changed, maybe you should reach out. Look, you guys can say all that you want about people not having to answer to their friends and all of that, and I understand that to a certain extent, okay? I'm not saying that you have to just be every time something goes on, you have to contact everybody and let them know that you're going through it and that you can't reach out right now. And, I'm not saying that you have to be a slave to your friendship, but your friendship is a relationship. Okay. It's not an intimate relationship, but it is still a relationship. And, I kind of feel like Mel, if she had friends that she knew she wanted to still speak with, would contact them and be like, girl, I had to change my number because niggas, be having my shit and calling, and I got to make sure that so-and-so don't have my number, but here's here's my number, but I'm only giving it to a few people. Like, I mean, can you at least do that? Yes, everybody grown, everybody got a life, but I think that Mel should understand why Stormi feels the way that she does. Mel telling her to DM her, and Stormi's like, I don't have a friend out there who, if I can't get in touch with them, I got to resort to DMing them. Mel was just like, you send me DMs all the time, but yeah, nigga, I'm sending you a meme. I'm sending you some shit that I thought was funny on Instagram. I'm not sitting here DMing you so that you can call me back. I was just like, yeah, this is bullshit, Mel. She's like, my real friends do respect my boundaries when I need to take a step back. So I'm surprised that this is coming from Stormi. So that part of Mel gets on my nerves, not taking accountability for what you have done. You could very easily just say, girl, my bad. I know I should reach out more. Shit just be happening, and then I just be over every fucking body. How hard is it to say that? Let me give you my number. But the fact that you still haven't given me your new number makes me know that you don't trust even me. And if you don't trust me, then what kind of friendship do we have? And that's why Stormi asked her, it's like, is it about trust? And Mel says, yes, that's part of it, her protecting herself. Now, you guys will have to clarify for me because I don't understand this part. But Stormi said that after the reunion, Mel had live tweeted that she had a backstabbing friend that had came in the house or something and had recorded her unbeknownst to her and then put it out. But when she said that, they showed the clip of when Destiny is letting Martell hear the interview that Mel did. I remember that interview very clearly because they was asking Mel about him seeing Sheree, and Mel was just like, I don't know what, I don't keep track of who he dating and all of that. Like, I could care less, So I couldn't understand how that got to be on Stormi and them saying that Stormi came into the house and recorded her. First of all, Stormi was just like, I would never do anything like that. And, the fact that Mel had tweeted that, I guess the people in the Twitter sphere started thinking that she was talking about Stormi. And so Mel was just like, Stormi, I've been in this game for a while now. And, when it comes to them kind of things, people will run with it. You can't let it get to you. And Stormi was like, no, that's not the thing. I'm not really letting it get to me. But the other thing is sometimes you got to nip that shit in the bud because people will run rampant with it. And then the next thing you know is a lie becomes the truth because everybody is saying the lie. So everyone just assumes that the lie is the truth. So Stormi don't want that lie out there on her. She did not record Mel. She didn't put anything out secretly and all of that. And the fact that the people were saying that Stormi did it and Mel didn't come to her defense and say, no, not Stormi. That's why Stormi's upset. Understandable, right? So I can tell you guys right now, I think Stormi is going to be my favorite person on the damn show. When we first met Stormi, I thought I was going to like her, and then I didn't because I felt like she came in on some rah-rah and just didn't really present herself probably the best way. And I think that she's done the work to pull herself out of that perception and change her way that she presents herself on the show so that people can understand. Like, I feel like Stormi is down to earth. So far, I have agreed with everything that Stormi has said. You know, once we got past the bullshit when her and Destiny and all that shit had happened. But ever since then, I feel like I agree with Stormi. She's sensible. And she said now that she knows Mel better, basically, she's going to do better by Mel. You know, she is not going to assume that her and Mel have this friendship, you know, when it's not there. So after they finish their conversation and they both decide that they good, you know, they're going to go on back, join Kimmy's party, you know, eat and have a good time. Now, at the same time, we see Kiki walking in. And, you know, of course, when Latisha saw Kiki walk in, she was just, I did not know that Kiki was going to come to the party. You know, that's the last person she feel like seeing right now. But she ain't trying to be on no mess, not at this party, so she's just going to just stay quiet and just mind her business. We also see Kimmy sitting and talking to Martell. And, you know, Martell was teasing her like, I bet you Maurice been a big baby throughout this whole thing. And she was just like, no, actually, surprisingly, well, not surprisingly, I'm sure, you know, but like, no, she was saying that, she actually is very grateful to have Maurice there with her to go through this. Because when you go through something like this, you do need somebody strong, somebody that loves you in your corner, kind of, you know, letting you cry on their shoulder, holding you up when you need it, you know, congratulating and rewarding you and pumping you up when good things happen. Like, you need that person, you know. And side note, before I get into this conversation, last week in my comments, you guys were all, well, not all of you, but many of you guys had a problem with Maurice not wanting Kimmy to have this party, okay, or this get together, because, well, you guys all felt that he was being controlling. And while I will agree that Maurice has had many times where he said and done things on the show that has gotten on our nerves, and, you know, we can call him out when he is doing shit like that. But in this case, I don't think that Maurice was really trying to control it. What you guys see on the show and what happens in real life is two different things. I can tell you from experience that chemotherapy, not my experience, but from being an observer of my mother, chemotherapy taxes you. You are wiped out, okay? There's nothing more that a person that loves you wants is to see you have your strength and be okay and healthy again. So I don't think that it was him trying to control the fact that Kimmy wanted to celebrate. I think it was more him. I mean, you guys saw how tired she was, and she was just packing her bag for her surgery the next day, out of breath, you know? And that was his point. Like, I know that you want this. And I think that's the reason why he did it, because it was for her more of her mental well-being. But physically, even something like that can be draining, okay? Even sometimes just sitting and talking to somebody when you've been through chemotherapy can be draining. It can be tiring, okay? You might not know, the night before I might have, the person might have thrown up all night, okay? They may have had the cold sweats. They may have had all of this different things going on. They don't show that on the show because that's the ugly part of chemo, but it's a reality. So when I was reading those comments, I was just like, God, people just really won't get out of that. Like, you have to really understand, like, chemo is a lot. So I think that people need to give Maurice a pass on that. So anyway, he did relent and say, okay, let's have a get together. Kimmy promised to just sit and talk to the people. That's what they did. So he was happy. Okay. And she needed that. Like, she needed the fact that people could celebrate in every milestone that has happened. So, yeah, you guys, don't be so hard on Maurice in that. Just in this instance, because I know the nigga gonna do or say something that pisses us off, as the season goes on. But anyway, while Kimmy is talking to Martell, she's telling him, like, don't you miss, like, having somebody being in your corner? We always talk about as we get older, you kind of want somebody to be there, because as you get older, you do get sick. Sometimes you might need somebody to just help you get something from the damn freezer downstairs. And maybe you might just need, the companionship as you get older is it's good to have. So she was asking him, do he miss it? And, Martell was just like, man, do I? Yeah, Martell would love to be able to share this experience called life with Mel. But unfortunately, so Martell chose somebody else other than Mel, or should I say he chose Mel and somebody else. Okay. So no, he doesn't have that anymore. And yes, he does miss it. He was just like, I don't even really like to go out of town because, it's not the same. Okay. I don't know why it's not the same going out of town, but I mean, maybe because he was used to traveling with Mel Child. I can't. But what I can tell you guys is when Kimmy said it's always going to be a part of them that sees Martell and Mel together because they met them together and they were doing life together and they were successful together, and that's what they all know in their mind. What I'm going to say is I'm going to need everybody to get on the new page. Okay, Martell and Mel are not together and haven't been for a while now. Okay, just like many other people that have divorced and got married. I do realize that you remember their ex-husband or their ex-wife, but you continuing to always want to hear from them how much they miss their former spouse. Yeah, that shit is getting on my nerves. And I was just sitting there and I was thinking to myself, like, I'm not going to continue to review this show. Like, I'll finish out this season, but I'm not going to continue to review the show if the narrative on this show is going to continue to be how Martell and Mel, we can't believe they not together no more. Like, come the fuck on. This is why Mel is so aggravated with every damn body, because it's just sort of like, now I done moved on, so I need everybody else to move on. What is it going to take? Is it going to take for Mel to have to bring a man on the show for everybody to get on the same page? Okay, because contrary to Martell and Sheree, which I'm still not clear on what Martell feels for Sheree, when Mel decides to bring a man around, it's going to be the one that she going to be with. Okay? And so everybody is going to need to get used to the fact that these two aren't together. And I am so tired. It's just sort of like, how do you guys expect for these two people to heal and move on if you guys continue to say, oh, it's always going to be Mel and Martell? It's not always Mel and Martell. It's clearly not Mel and Martell now. Okay? So it's not always going to be that, not in that sense. Yeah, they baby mama, baby daddy, ex-husband, ex-wife, all of that. But that's the extent of it. And we need to let that go. But, everybody now is picking, well, Kimmy is talking about, what Carlos said at the reunion. My answer to that is Carlos is cracking the fucking whip so tough on these people, they can't even get a damn break from the show. Okay? So they recording all the time. Mel and Martell have to deal with each other because they're on this show. Now, nobody is saying they have to be on the show, but I mean, I'm sure this is their income, right? So, they can't heal. Neither one of them can heal because they always doing the damn show. And if they're on the show, everybody is always telling them, oh, it's always Mel and Martell. Everybody wanting them to always be reminiscing and thinking about the old times. And nigga, it's a new goddamn day. Leave this shit alone. I'm tired of it. And I, when I say I'm not going to review that, I ain't trying to make it seem like I'm just this great reviewer. There's plenty of other people that do great reviews of this show. So I'm not saying that, for everybody, no, Roxanne, no, I don't even care. Like, I don't care. What I'm saying is this shit is tiring. We all know that Martell would love to have Mel back. He's said it plenty of times on the show. Mel has told us plenty of times that he's told her that on the show. It's obvious. It's apparent. He admits it. So that's already a given. Okay, so it has to be even more annoying that they go through this on the show. Now, case in point, why we can't seem to let this shit go. Back to Mel. Mel is trying to leave now. Okay, she's saying her goodbyes, and when Martell finishes talking to Kimmy, he goes over to Mel, and he was just like, "Oh, I'm gonna walk you out and make sure that you're safe." And she was just like, "That's okay, Martell. My car is parked right out front." And he was just like, "Oh, girl, you know how I am. I just want to make sure you're fine. And I saw your car was right across the street." And she was just like, "Listen, wherever the damn car is, I don't need you to walk me out. She's going to be fine." And he says, in his confessional, I know that Mel said that she doesn't want me to walk her out, but she didn't mean that. She knows that I'm a gentleman and I'm always going to be concerned for her well-being. And I was just like, nothing screams I'm a crazy ass stalker for somebody to sit there and say that this person who clearly meant what they said doesn't mean what they say. Like, are you thinking for me now? Like, are you my voice box? Are you the one that's telling me what I think, what I mean, what I don't mean? That shit is borderline stalker, very much a controlling tactic. And yeah, that shit pissed me off. On top of that, when she's going to tell Tiffany and Louis bye, and, the conversation comes up over there, Martell wanting to walk her out, and Louis was just like, he just want to make sure you're okay. And, Tiffany was just like, I know people probably think like, if I had a man, I wouldn't want my woman walking out there by himself, making sure somebody got her out there safe. But this is Mel and Martell. Mel is going to be fine. Her car is parked right across the street, and she already said she doesn't want him to do it. So you guys sitting up here telling them, just let him do it, basically. That's why Mel can be so fucking annoyed. And, every 15 minutes we got to hear about Mel protecting her peace. Because nobody is listening to the girl. Okay? When it comes to Martell, they don't listen to Mel. Mel's just like, you know what I wish? I wish that my wishes were respected. Okay, motherfucker, I said I don't need you to walk me out there. And the fact that we got to almost get into an argument about you walking me out there, then it seems like if I'm sticking to my guns like this, then you should just be like, okay, fine, girl, go on. But Martell can't let that happen. He still has to walk her to the door, And then when they get to the door, he still ends up going out there after her. So it's just sort of like, you are really annoying. And that's why Mel is so disagreeable and miserable when she's around you. And that's why she has become this person that isn't always the most likable, because you have sullied her spirit. Nigga, you have brought this girl down. You have made her, very angry when it comes to, you have made her be this person where now she cuts folks off and she does all of that. I feel like a lot of that is because of this relationship with Martell. Her relationship, her issues of trust with Martell has ballooned into her not trusting no damn body. And it's all because of everybody that's been involved in their relationship, and having something to say. Now she just don't, So yeah, all this, I still blame Martell. Martell is the reason that Mel is the way that she is. Yeah, that would have pissed me off. That scene, I'm sure, pissed Mel off, and rightfully so. Now, the next day, Kimmy and Maurice are talking, and, like I told you, she was packing her bags because she has surgery the next day and she's all out of breath. Okay. So that's why I was saying that. Yeah. That even the things, the smallest little minute of things can really wear you out when you've just been through chemo and all. But anyway, she sits down and she tells him the conversation that she had with Martell. And Maurice was just like, Martell needs to figure out what he wants to do. Okay. Because it's clear that Mel has moved on. We thought Martell was moving on. I mean, hell, he's seeing Sheree. That's a very public relationship, even if they are taking it slow. She was like, there's always going to be a part of him that wants to be with Mel. And yeah, that's true. Like Maurice said, yeah, usually the person that fucked up the relationship has many, many regrets. Okay? The good one got away. You made stupid decisions. You get stupid prizes. But Martell still is going to have to get it together because Mel has moved on. Mel has moved on. Sort your feelings out, nigga. One day he love her, one day he hate her. Kimmy said it's easier said than done. It's not easy to do because of the show. Maurice tells her how he saw when Mel was trying to leave and Martell, tried to follow her out, and Mel had a whole lot to say to him, and she was just like, oh, I kind of felt bad. And he was just like, yeah, I basically jonesed him. Okay. And she said that wasn't nice. But it's just sort of like, nigga, get it together. This woman don't want you. She done made it clear. And now you embarrassing yourself by hoisting your protective eye on her when clearly look, the fact that Mel would rather get jumped than have you walk her to her car to tell you something. Oh, shit. Now, Martell, we see Martell become the third wheel on a date night between Chris Fletcher and his wife. Was it Mel or Nail? I said, not another Mel, but I think it might have been Nail. Okay. I didn't even know Chris Fletcher was married, child, all these seasons, but they done finally brought the wife on because I've heard, rumors about Chris Fletcher all these years, and come to find out he done been with this woman a long, long time. Anyway, Martell shows up, I didn't know that it was a date, okay? But he said that he'd been knowing the Fletchers for many years, and they have become a great source of counsel, okay? And they're going to help him through some things tonight. So anyway, Nell asked him how he's been, how's single life, how's the dating life? And, Martell tells her that he's not dating anybody exclusively, all right? And it's just like the biggest elephant is in the room. Everybody knows about Sheree. Sheree is a public figure. I'm sure Nell knows that. Well, hell, Nell says, well, what about Sheree? I mean, you done brought her to the house. We met her. Okay, so she's definitely around. You guys aren't exclusive. And he was just like, Sheree, she's a nice lady, and she's a beautiful woman, and we get along well, and she's nice company. And I was just like, well, nigga, so is a damn dog. Why don't you just go in and get you a damn service animal, emotional support? I was just like, so at least at this point of filming, I feel sorry for Sheree, okay? Because, I mean, I get it. They they just starting to date each other and getting to know each other and everything. But the fact that we see Martell still trying to work through his feelings with Mel, it's a bad look. Like, I wouldn't want to watch this show if I was Sheree and see him still pining after his ex-wife. It's one thing to have regrets, but moving on. But Martell ain't moved on, baby. He is still stuck. And Chris Fletcher asked him if she's the one. And Martell was just like, we'll see, basically, as time goes on. When God says go, they get a good giggle about that. Remember Mel's t-shirt. And, speaking of Mel, they don't have any communication, like he'll have the kids for 7 days and she won't even call him. I was like, nigga, I don't think you understand this custody thing. Like, what I need to call you for is daddy time. Nigga, you with your kids. This is your week. We aren't together anymore. What do I need to call you for? I'm assuming my kids are safe with their father. He's going to make the best decisions for them. So what the hell do I need to call you about? What is wrong with Martell? Oh, and then Martell brings up the shit about them being in court because of the babysitters. And, Nell didn't understand. She was like, so what's the problem with the babysitters? Oh, well, she got about 20-something of them. And Nell was like, I mean, it took everything in her to be like, nigga, you lying. To not say, nigga, you lying. She was just like, I don't believe that. Okay? Nobody got no 20-something damn babysitters. And even if she did have a whole bunch of babysitters, so what? Okay, them her kids. She gonna make the best, as long as her kids are safe, then she can have the babysitters however she wants. Even though I know Mel ain't got no 20-something damn babysitters. Okay? And if Martell is so concerned about this 20-something babysitters, then why is it every time this conversation comes up about the babysitters, it's only about Mel's brother? It ain't never about all of these 20-something other people. It's about Mel's brother and the fact that he watched the kids when Martell was in town. It's stupid. And that, yeah, I was just like, so I was glad that Neil didn't take the bullshit. Like, nigga, you know good and damn well this girl ain't got no 20-something people watching your damn kids. He was like, but what if it was true? But it ain't true. It's not true. So let's not even talk about it anymore. That Martell. Now later on, we see Mel with Nell. And Mel was happy to see Nell. You look so good. You look fabulous. And I feel fabulous. Come on, girl. Let's sit down here and talk. Okay. So they sit down. How have you been? How's everything going with the daycare? And Nell says, well, the daycare is going great. She said, COVID knocked us back like it did everybody else, but they finally got back on some firm footing and everything is where it should be again. She tells Mel that she's proud of her, her skincare line. She's heard good things about it. And Mel is just like, I sure do hate that y'all missed the doggone launch party. Okay, but you know what? Mel gonna send her a few things, get that skin popping like Mel's is. Okay, because girl, you glowing. Like, how's single life? You dating? And, Mel says that she's just out there. She's having a good time. All right. In the confessional, the producer asked her, said that there is a rumor that you found a man. Why wouldn't Mel haven't found a man? Mel is a beautiful woman. I'm sure she has found a man already. But she was just like, it got to be way more important things for people to talk about than who Mel is laid up with. Okay. I was like, not on this show, girl. They're going to continue to talk about it until you bring the man around. And damn it, maybe you don't need to bring him around with all of the shit that goes on this show, So yeah, the annoyance of people asking is always going to be there if the mystery man continues to be a mystery. So Nell tells her how Martell crashed the dinner date. And, they were talking about them and the kids and all of that. She wants it to just be about the kids because, you guys are going to be in each other's lives forever because of the kids. And Mel was just like, you said what now? And I was looking out the way Mel was looking at Nell when she was saying, even when you get grown, the kids, you have holidays and they going to be around and he might show up or something like that. I was just like, Nell, you on thin ice, honey. Mel about to cut you out. So then Nell went on and said, she brought up the babysitting situation. And like Mel has told us in the past, that this is all just a controlling mechanism that Martell has. Martell believes that he can control Mel. And because he can't control her life, now he has resumed to controlling what she does when it comes to the kids. She was just like, Martell has gone around and talked to everybody who will listen. Talked bad about me as a wife. Now he's trying to make me look bad as a mother. Okay. But what those people don't know is that every other day Martell is begging me to take him back. He doing that behind closed doors, but out here all on the TV show and everything, he trying to make me look like a bad person and turn everybody against me. So Nell was just like, well, Mel, you guys can't, agree on a certain set of babysitters. And she was just like, we tried that. It didn't work because nobody wants to deal with Martell. He is very difficult. Martell looks like he has diva behavior. If we didn't know when he showed up at his party with the King Joffrey's fur on his arm, then I don't know when we would have realized it. And then Mel just kept it all the way real. I can appreciate Mel when she is, it ain't all for the show and that Mel is just talking. And Mel basically said, listen, when I got married to this man and we had these 4 kids, nobody could have told me that I wasn't going to be able to see my kids every day. Okay. I don't see my kids basically, she sees her kids every other week. And that is not anything she has ever wanted for her family. All right. She didn't choose that. She didn't want it, but that's what the reality is. You know why? Because that's what Martell chose. So we're not going to sit up here and make it seem like I am the reason why we are even in this mess to begin with. That is on Martell. I've moved on. Martell is going to have to learn to move on too. But what Mel do know is that she's not going to let Martell try to control her through the kids. Like, we're not doing that. You tried to control me when I was your wife. You did do that when I was your wife, but I'm not your wife no more. And so she was actually upset when she was talking to Nell. And Nell was just like, okay, I'm sorry. I didn't know all of that. Yeah, Mel's not perfect, but I understand exactly how she feels when it comes to Martell. Now, jumping over to Latisha, child, we got a new cousin, Courtney. Courtney looked just like Latisha, just like Kiki do, just like Wanda do. I was just like, damn. I want to see the grandparents and the great-grands and shit, because these niggas got the strongest genes. Everybody, if Courtney took off that hair and put on some black hair like how Kiki and Latisha, they look like fucking triplets. What about the new eye candy at the bar? Is Jalen gone? That was black that they were at, right? Anyway, so Courtney meets Latisha. They go and sit down and talk. And, Latisha was just like, you look so good, Courtney. You look like me. And Courtney was just like, and Latisha was like, girl, that's a compliment. You're supposed to, because I'm beautiful. I was like, what? I mean, I guess. So, Courtney tells her thank you for telling me I look like you, I guess. But, so what's been going on, girl? How's Auntie Wanda? Oh, she good, girl. She coming out with a cookbook. She asked me to proofread the forward. I was like, look at you. I'm so proud of you. And I was like, oh, did y'all tell me that Miss Wanda's kicked off the show? Is that true? I know everybody was pretty fed up with Miss Wanda after last season, but anyway, it's going to be interesting without Miss Wanda there. But anyways, the reason why we are here. So apparently Courtney is a digital marketing phenom. Okay. And, Latisha just got her brokerage license, and I guess she's starting a brokerage firm. And the fact that, Courtney does the same thing, Latisha wants to invite her to come work with her at her new firm. Okay. And Courtney was just like, yeah, yeah, about that. Okay. First of all, she's doing very well where she is. She's into luxury property sales. Okay. And apparently she's doing very well over there. So she wants to have her join the team. And I was like, Courtney, girl, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You don't need to even work with family. You already see what didn't happen with Kiki and Latisha. Why would you even put yourself in that? So Courtney tried to say it without being, mean. But, Courtney was just like, just watching what happened with you and Kiki and how upsetting it was. I guess Courtney is younger than both of them, and how she would come and see Kiki and Latisha, and, she looked up to them and wanted to be like them, and just seeing all this, was a downer. On top of that, Courtney ain't trying to jump on no brand new ship, nigga. You gonna have to take a few sails around the ocean first, and then we'll see how it goes. Why leave her good thing where she is? She said, I just went to this new firm. Everything's working well there. So she don't want to keep jumping around and all. So let's just kind of play it by ear and see how it goes. But as far as this thing with Kiki, Courtney was just like, I feel like Kiki probably regrets the life that she could have had, that she didn't because of whatever decisions that she's made. And so Latisha was just like, yeah, we used to be really close and we used to do everything together, but now she's gotten to the point where she can't really trust Kiki. Okay. She gonna let Kiki work out whatever issue she got over there, and maybe in the future they can come back together. But for right now, she ain't trying to go there with Kiki. And so Courtney was just like, well, maybe, we can just get together and it don't be nothing, just get together and be around each other and all that. And Latisha was just like, well, if I do that, then you come into work at my new firm. And Courtney was like, okay. And I was like, Courtney, now did you just tell this girl that you was going to sit it out, and now all of a sudden, just because you want her and Kiki to talk so bad, now you going to go work over there? Girl, I hope you know what you're doing. Okay, Latisha, I will meet with the devil, because at the end of the day, I'm a businesswoman. Latisha. Well, now you're the shrewd businesswoman, huh? All right. So then lastly, we see Latisha. She's at the kickboxing place. I'm not sure if this is the get together that Courtney was asking for, because Courtney wasn't even there. But she's at a place called Rockbox, I guess, kickboxing. And I was just like, oh, you guys, I have a couple of friends, Menina and Chisato. They call me Rockbox. They've been calling me that for 40, 30 years anyway. One of my nicknames. But anyway, she's there working with the trainer, and then Kiki shows up. Latisha was just like, I invited Kiki, so that they can get some aggressions out, before they actually sit down and try to work through what issues they had. So Kiki shows up, and they throw around some punches at each other and at the bag and everything. And then it's time to sit down and talk. So Latisha says to Kiki how she's trying to figure out, you know, how to move past things. You know, she talked to Courtney and said that she would try to do it, you know, and she was just like, I know you didn't like the puppets that she had at the reunion, but that's how she felt, like Kiki was being a puppet. And Mel basically was telling her and feeding her all these things. And, you know, Kiki just fell for it. And, you know, Kiki started up with that. That was never my intention. I was not trying to hurt you. I wasn't trying to do this. And I was just like, we are not going to get anywhere unless Kiki can just be real with Latisha and say, yes, girl, I did do all that to hurt you because I was mad. I think Latisha would be able to move on if she said that. But what annoys me with Kiki is she continues to deny that she wasn't trying. What did you think was going to come out of a friendship which you have when you know Mel and Latisha's fucking mortal enemies at that point? Why did you think that it was going to be okay for you to go to Mel's house and get to talking about Latisha's marriage, whether or not it was true or false? Why did you think that that was going to be a good look on your relationship with Latisha? So yeah, girl, I can appreciate a bitch being mad. I done been mad and said some shit out of turn that I should not have said when I'm mad. I can admit, yeah, I shouldn't have did that, but I was pissed the fuck off. Okay? So my bad. I'm sorry. But, you know, that's where I was when it happened. If she would just say that, then we could fucking move on. But Kiki just gonna keep on saying it wasn't her intention. She wasn't trying to do this. She wasn't trying. And Latisha was just like, I don't think she's hearing me. Like, I don't think she understands what I'm trying to say. And I was like, she doesn't. Because Kiki does not want to admit that her going and talking to Mel behind Latisha's back was a stab in the back. Latisha was just like, my heart, you know, I love you, you my family, and I want to trust you, but my mind is just like, girl, don't do it. And I'm just like, well, you need to stick with your mind. Okay, we're gonna have to love Kiki from a distance. All right, yeah, I mean, we ain't got to fight, we ain't got to argue, we ain't got to be against each other or anything, but you better believe I'm not trusting your ass to do nothing with me and mine again. It's too bad that the kids gotta suffer because the parents can't get it together, but you know what, the kids will still be fine. All right, and the kids can still be around each other. This is family. So, you know, but yeah, Latisha and that Kiki, boy, I hope we ain't gonna have to hear about Latisha getting hurt by, you know, Kiki bringing her down again. Like, we already know, asked and answered. We know that that's what Kiki was trying to do. Okay, and Kiki, at least as of this episode, still is not ready to admit that. All right, you guys, that is it. Let me get on off of here. Make sure that you thumbs up this video, comment, and subscribe to this channel. I'm itsrox. The channel is itsrox. Everything else I do will be in the bottom bar. All right. So I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day, and I plan on doing the same. Till next time, Roxstars. Bye.